Welcome back to the Entrepreneur Mindset Podcast. Over the past few episodes, we've been talking about the process that I use with my private clients, my one-on-one clients, as they are building their courses and coaching programs. And we have been, in the past few episodes, talking about the details of what we talk about in our coaching sessions, the big picture concepts, as well as the places that you are likely to get stuck. In fact, in episode 160, we discussed the concept of course objectives and goals and the importance of creating those before you map out the content that you'd like to teach. This is a big sticking point for a lot of people. This week, what we're going to do is take that information, those course objectives, those goals, and start to do a little bit of testing. And as you all know, I'm a scientist. So I'm a really big fan of create, test, adjust, create. Let me say that one more time. Create something, then test it, make adjustments, and continue your creation process. Because our first ideas often need tweaking and adjusting to be exactly what they need to be. And this kind of testing is what's going to allow us to know if we have a valid idea for our business. And having a valid idea is key to long-term success. Imagine if you create an amazing course only to find out that your ideal client, the person you made this course for, doesn't even know that they need this help. They aren't going to be searching Google for this. They aren't going to be pulling out their credit card. You are not going to see a boost in your business. They are not going to see a shift in their lives. And all of that work, all of that effort that you put in is going to just kind of dwindle. It's not going to actually create results for either you or your potential clients. So instead, what I'm going to talk to you about today is spending just a little bit of extra time and effort so that you can make sure that you're creating something that your potential clients will want, that will have them saying yes before you even finish making your offer. The first thing that you need to do is figure out how you are going to talk about what you built. If you can't clearly talk about what you do, then you're not going to be able to test your idea and messaging effectively or efficiently. And I know that you are all about efficiency, right? So how do you actually talk about what you're offering? My very first and foremost suggestion here is to keep it simple. In fact, in StoryBrand, we talk about what's called a one-liner, which, even though it says one-liner, often equates to 2 sentences, but it's simple, clear, quick to share, easy to remember. The key to this really good one-liner is to highlight who you are serving, what problem you are solving, and how your potential client's life is going to be different as a result of this service that you're offering. That's kind of a mouthful. I know it sounds complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. For example, when I talk about my one-on-one coaching program, I say that I help course creators go from idea to implementation with one-on-one support so that you don't get lost in the details and can actually get your course finished. So I've shared who I serve, course creators and coaches, the problem I solve, getting your course or coaching program finished and out the door. And how is their life going to be different? Well, they're not going to get lost in the details and they're going to actually finish what they've started. This is all very simple, very quick. Takes me just a few seconds to share with someone what I do. Or if I'm sharing it in an online forum, it equates to about 1 sentence, sometimes 2 if I add in a little detail to better suit that group that I'm sharing in. The key is that you don't want to go on and on. Often that little bit of information generates a response. For instance, when I post this in groups, a lot of people say, oh my gosh, going from idea to implementation, I always get stuck in that implementation. How great to have help. So a lot of times that little bit of information generates a response and it allows someone to express their interest, to ask questions, to highlight where they have problems. And generally, it just helps you get the conversation going. What I've found is that the more information you give, which is our tendency, the more likely you are to see eyes glazing over and people checking out of being an active participant in the conversation. They feel like they're being talked at instead of talked with. Now, if it seems like a big task to create your one-liner, use your course purpose as a starting place. This will often give you a chunk of what you're looking for, and you can then tailor it from there. Now, here's the thing. If you go back to your course purpose and it doesn't give you anything for your one-liner, then it might be time to rethink the alignment between your course purpose and what it is you're wanting to say about your course. See if there's maybe a disconnect here, because a lot of times what happens is in our head, we start thinking about how we're going to talk about something. And when we actually put in the work and create objectives and create purpose, that's a lot more honed in. And what we want to talk about is not necessarily as strategic or as dialed in as our course purpose. So use that course purpose as a really strong starting off point to start creating your one-liner. Once you have your one-liner, it is time to get out there and talk to people. There is a lot of temptation and trepidation in doing this. I know. The tendency is to want to just keep our ideas close to our chest. Our tendency to do this can actually sabotage our success and the success of our students. Yes, you are the expert and know what people need, but that isn't always what people are looking for. Yes, there are some people out there who might try to steal your ideas, but honestly, you are the only one who can do exactly what you do with your approach and your methodology. There is a good reason to become a master at what you do, and there is a reason why you are a master at what you do. People can't steal that mastery from you. They can try to mimic it, but they're not going to have the same results. Getting out and talking to potential clients to understand what challenges they're experiencing is non-negotiable, kind of like chocolate chips in a chocolate chip cookie. Those chocolate chips are non-negotiable. This is getting out there and actually talking to people about what you're creating, what you want to create is probably one of the biggest mindset hurdles that I see that you have to deal with during the creation process, because it's often one of the first times that you are getting your idea out into the public. This is an idea that is deeply rooted in your heart and soul. And it hurts when someone says, I don't know. I'm not sure I'd buy that. I don't really think you got it. I don't think that's right. How do I know this? How do I know that this is a hard mindset thing to have happen? Well, how do I know that people kind of put this off? I'll be honest. I've put it off in the past, countless times in my entrepreneurial career. Not all the ideas will be the right idea at the right time. So you do need to do this kind of research. What I will say is when you master your mindset around this, by committing yourself to talking with people and putting your heart on your sleeve, you will end up with a better service or product. You will end up with better messaging. And of course, you will end up with better overall outcomes for your students and your business as a whole, because now you are going to be creating exactly what they need. And it's going to align with what they want. And what they want is what they're going to Google and searching for. So when you get ready to sit down and talk with people, your potential ideal client, when you're talking to them about what it is you're thinking of creating, you're sharing a little bit about your one-liner, your course purpose, some of the objectives, I want you to really go in with an open mind. And I want you to go in with a mind toward listening more than speaking. And so you can ask questions like, what challenges are you experiencing around? Fill in your topic here. When you think about what keeps you up at night, what are the biggest stressors around? Again, put in your appropriate topic. If you had the opportunity to think in terms of solving your problem, what would that mean for your life? If you had the opportunity to, what would that mean for your life? What have you tried in the past to solve the problem? What worked? What didn't work? Tell me more about that. What would make the biggest difference for you at this exact moment right now? So you can take these questions, and I gave you 5 of them. You can tailor them to your specific course or coaching program, and then listen. That is the key. I told you a moment ago, listen more than you speak. Listen with a completely open mind, not with an eye to the next question that you can ask. This is one of the biggest challenges I find, because we are a little bit nervous. And so we sit there with a list of questions thinking, all right, I'm going to ask these questions. And instead of listening to what you're being told, listening to what people are sharing with you, you're going, okay, I just asked question 2. Now I'm going to ask question 3. Okay. And you kind of gear yourself up for this. Instead, listen, then repeat back what you hear to make sure that you've understood what they're trying to share with you. And that repeating back gives your potential client a chance to add on. A lot of times, all it takes is that repeating back, and they'll expand on their thoughts. If they don't expand and you're thinking, I think there's more here, you can ask a follow-up question to get a better understanding of what they've shared. This process is so important because not only are you validating your course idea, you are getting messaging straight from your potential clients' mouths. You cannot beat that. You are going to save so much time. You are going to save so much heartache, and you are going to find your ideal client so much easier when you use the words of your ideal client, the ones that they're already using. This is what they are searching Google and YouTube for. This is what they're heading over to Reddit for answers about. These responses that you're listening to are a gold mine. These are going to help you come up with better examples for your content. It's going to make sure that you haven't forgotten a key aspect that's really bothering your potential client. You're going to be better able to come up with bonuses for your course or your coaching program. So here's the thing. I highly recommend that you record these conversations if at all possible, because you want to be able to go back and pull those exact phrases and use them in your messaging and use them throughout your course. As you are asking and listening, here's something else I'd like you to do. Start recognizing the beliefs that your potential clients hold. Some of these beliefs might need to be shifted before they're ready to work with you. So I want you to start thinking about how you can address these beliefs. For example, I worked on shifting beliefs in episode 160 with you all by saying that sticky notes are not the best way to map out your course. Many people think, because there are lots of ideas out there saying, pull out a stack of sticky notes, just brain dump everything, and it's going to be a great outline to your course. So a lot of people think they can outline their course with the key points that they want to teach using sticky notes, and they'll have a cohesive course. But this isn't true. And I walked you through why that isn't true in episode 160. Sometimes shifting beliefs is really simple. Sometimes it's a lengthier process that requires you to go deeper with your messaging. But you know how you go deeper with your messaging? Understand where your clients are, your potential clients are right now. Again, you can uncover these beliefs by listening and asking questions. You are the expert on what you teach, but you also need to be the expert on what will help your potential clients take the step toward working with you. And listening is the key element to that. So, 2 strategies we just talked about. First one was to create your one-liner. So practice talking about what your course is going to be about. And then strategy 2 is to make sure that you are validating your course idea and working on your messaging with your actual potential clients. So this week, I encourage you for your action item to create a one-liner and begin to talk about your course or your coaching program. It's going to feel tough at first. It will feel like you are offering your most precious gift up for criticism. So I invite you to shift your mindset to one of service. The more open you are about what you're creating, the better you will be able to serve your potential clients. It is coming from a place of service. Make a commitment to talk to 5 people who will be your ideal client and share your ideas. See what they think. Encourage them to offer feedback. Get to know them. Dig in with them about what they're experiencing. And once you have done this, breathe a deep sigh. You have just proven to yourself that your idea is important, that you want to get it out to the world, and that you're open to adjustments. Doing this piece will save you so much heartache. I once launched a membership without doing this, and it was a complete flop, as in not a single sign up. Please learn from my misadventures in entrepreneurship. Go validate your idea. Create your one-liner, validate your idea. All right, let's wrap this up so that you can get to work on doing that action item, those action items that I shared with you. You can do the work of creating your one-liner and talking with at least 5 potential clients about your course or coaching program idea. Remember that as you create your one-liner, you are not out to share everything. You are hoping to open a conversation and create interest so that the person you're sharing with asks more questions and shares more about themselves. Keep it short, simple, and clear. You will find that the more you share this, the faster you'll get to the clarity that you are hoping for. This is a case of practice, practice, practice to gain the clarity. It truly does take time and repetition to find the right words and the ones that will resonate. I was working with a coaching client. I've been working with this particular coaching client for a little over a year, and I had the opportunity to hear them share their business in a group as an introduction. That coach shared what they do with confidence, with clarity, with simplicity, and the chat section of Zoom blew up. Everyone thought it was so neat. They thought it was so needed. They understood what this person was offering and loved it. But I guarantee you that did not come out the first time that this person practiced, because it doesn't come out that way for any of us. We have to practice it, get feedback, and keep making those adjustments. So that's my wish for you. Get this stuff out there. Start making adjustments. Create, test, adjust, create. Now, when you create your one-liner, I'd love to see it. So send me a DM on Facebook or Instagram at Entrepreneurs in Flow. And I'll see you back here next week for another episode of the Entrepreneur Mindset Podcast, where we focus on mentoring, community, and implementation, because it's all about taking action so that we can remove the overwhelm of building a successful and profitable business and add in a little dose of momentum. Until next time, have a healthy, safe, and happy week.